And we are live on the United Public Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM New Orleans and 105.3 FM the Gulf Coast. And we are also being live streamed wherever podcasts live. So we're not hard to find. My YouTube channel, etc. To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm a fully professed brother with the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. I'm a team member with Society of St. Benedict. I am an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church and co-founder of GhostBeGone.biz. And yeah, I'm that guy on Eli Roth Presents The Legion of Exorcists, which premiered on Travel Channel and currently streaming everywhere in case you haven't caught the show yet. Give it a look. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see. My books are there, my online course is there. It's a place where you can make an appointment with me to speak about your spiritual issues. But most importantly, keep in mind that my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues or any issues for that matter. And so if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you, it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. Okay, I'm going to shorten up my intro today because this is a very special episode that is quickly becoming a fan favorite. It happens the last Friday of every month, and it's a little thing we call Happy Medium Monthly. And the star of Happy Medium Monthly is in the green room. I'm going to be bringing her out very shortly. But first, I want to introduce my permanent co host. I love her. I respect her. I've known her forever. She is my publisher. She's the owner of Stellium Books and happens to be a lifelong paranormal experiencer. So she loves this episode also. So, brothers and sisters, without further ado, please give a big warm paranormal ministry family welcome to my co host, Annette Munich.
Hi, what a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you to say such nice things. And I'm really happy to be here today. I'm always happy when we have Susan on board. Always so nice to give readings and also so many different things to talk about. So
Absolutely. So I'm ready to bring her out if you are.
I am.
Brothers and sisters, as I said before, this is Happy Medium Monthly. I'm going to go over the rules real quick. Susan is not going to be conjuring spirit, mediumship. That takes a lot more energy and a lot more time, and that's a completely different type of show. Today is free, live, on air, quickie psychic reading day. You hopefully are watching the live stream and have access to our live chat room. If so, all you have to do is type in your question for Susan. Annette will see it or Susan will see it. She'll read it and she'll give you your reading here live on air for free. How cool is that? So, without further ado, she's coming to us live from Cape Cod. She is simply known as the Happy Medium. She is, in my humble opinion, all the alleged gifted psychic mediums that I've met in my life. I can count the legit ones on two hands. She's at the top of that list. I've known her forever. She's always on her game, brings her own spiritual and ghost posse with her, and her source that is a direct hotline to heaven. So please welcome to the show the happy medium herself, Susan Ahearn.
Hi, guys.
What are you doing?
Hi, Shawn.
Susan, welcome.
Hey, Annette. Thank you. I miss you guys. We didn't have our show last time, so.
Why didn't we? What was up last week? What was
you
up
were
last week?
somewhere.
Oh, that's right.
Like I was
at
there too.
What was
you were in Florida. I was at my retreat.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's where I was. Yep.
Do you want me to go over the rules, or do you want to go over the rules? Let's
Um,
do that.
we can go over the rule. I think you just did.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Ask Susan stuff like about money, love,
yeah,
travel, employment, things like.
anything, even like even if it's not, it has nothing to do with anything. Like, what should I wear tomorrow? Like anything. I don't, just throw it at me. What do
I
you,
know
I
what I
love the
want to ask
relationship
you.
stuff. I love doing that. Yeah. What?
One of my star students, um, Camilla, who lives in, I believe it's Denmark, reached out to me earlier in the week wanting to have me recommend to her a good psychic medium she could reach out to. And of course, I said, well, you know who I'm going to tell you about. And I, of course, gave her your name again. I was just interested to know if she had reached out to you and you're helping her or not yet.
I have not talked to anybody named Camilla, but I can't tell you that anyways.
Well, if she, okay, touche. Okay, I should have known better than to even
First
ask and
rule. Who breaks the
scare
first rule,
her.
Annette?
Right.
Uh,
Exactly.
Hi, Heidi. Heidi's here.
Well, he
Heidi.
almost got himself in a lot of trouble talking about a long time ago girls that used to be cute and now they're old bats. So,
Shawn.
Hey, what can I say? Hey, I'm an old dude too.
right.
But it's just, we were talking about, I stumble on these old movies and I'm right back there
Mm.
again. I mean, some of them were big when I was a kid and I loved them. And then it always, you know, I see some of these movie stars, female movie stars, actresses that I loved and had crushes on when I was a kid. And then, you forget about it. Time goes on, and all of a sudden you see them, on a talk show or doing a commercial, or just some paparazzi took pictures of them walking out of the laundromat, or
Right.
whatever the case may be. Um, like Loretta Swift, I believe her last name was Swift.
Yeah.
She was the TV um, Margaret Houlihan on
Oh, right.
MASH.
That's right.
She
That's
just
right.
passed away, and I found that out just before
Oh, I
you
didn't know
went
that.
live, and I loved her growing up. But
She was cool.
Interesting.
Nobody
you see
liked her,
these,
but she was good. She was a good actress.
oh my gosh, she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so you see these pictures of these people that you know um, are much much older and many many years later, and it can be a little shocking if you haven't seen them in years. So that's the point I was trying to get across, and then you two started hammering me, and I so conveniently said, "Oh, we're almost going to go live, guys. I'll be with you quickly," and I had to got you guys in the green room. But uh,
So the trick to that is staying out in public constantly so that everybody sees you age gracefully, or hide and never come out again. You
It's
got to pick it.
terrible, though. I'm going to say something. He's going to have to get reused to me because now, since we don't have all these medical procedures to think about, I'm like sassier than I've been for years. That was a subdued version of me that you got used to. But so anyway, now
Oh,
that I'm
yeah.
good and I'm all sassy again, but same thing looking at the old rock stars, and we were talking about ACDC, and to me everything, my kids make a joke and I say everything's 5 years ago, unless it was a really long time ago, and then I say it was 10 years ago, and they'll be like, Mom, why are you wearing that old sweater? It's not that old. I only got it 5 years ago. Mommy wore it to my 8th grade graduation. Well, I like this sweater. But, you
Right.
can't just go out and find things that are like what you had. And then
Mhm.
also, like a lot of these people, I think they get these procedures and don't even look like themselves anymore anyway. So I think that gets
Yeah.
a little overdone and sad.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I
They
get
just
that
got to do
too.
the
I talk to some people that I haven't talked to that I've known all my life, and I've lost contact with them for years, and all of a sudden we reconnect, and they don't say anything, but I can just tell the look in their face as soon as they see me. It's the look of, dude, what happened to you? It it is what it is. So
No, you
uh,
look great.
Hey,
I think you look great too. I think you look great.
well, a lot of
But I didn't
know,
know you when you were young. If you've got like some really young pictures, I've never seen that. So
I'll tell you what. You want to see me in my prime? A lot of people don't know this.
actually, yes, I would.
For about 10, 15 years, I want to say from the late 70s to the early 90s, I was a professional street dancer. And I traveled all over the world. I danced for James Brown and Ice-T and the United Street
Mm.
Force and was in a lot of videos and movies and things like that. Go, there's an, now this movie is terrible. I mean, it's bad. Stars Lorenzo Lamas. At the time he was hot because he just came off of
Mhm.
Falcon's Crest. And he still is a good looking man.
Mhm.
But he starred in the movie. It's called Body Rock, and it's about street dancing. I choreographed all the dance scenes in it, and I'm in every
Wow.
single dance scene. You can't miss me. But that's what I always think of myself as, or even younger than that. And sometimes you wake up and you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself because you're somewhere else. And but I tell people all the time, um, if it wasn't for, I use hair color and beard color, but I don't actually color my hair. I got shampoo beard color and I've got shampoo Target the Gray stuff that I use. And if I didn't use that, we would be having a completely different conversation. I would be taking your requests for what you want for Christmas, even though you guys wouldn't be sitting on my knee because the hair is solid white, the beard is solid white if I didn't color it, and I just look like Santa Claus. And so
Wow. I
I know
wouldn't
that
see it. No, I think you look good this way. You know what? And if women can color their hair, I think men can color their hair too. Who cares?
So this is your second time around of being famous.
well, I'm not really famous,
Well,
but
yeah, you are.
and I wasn't even famous then, but
Kind of,
in your circle, you're
sort
famous.
of.
Like I'm famous in my house. That's about it. Um, and back then, I was famous amongst the other dancers that I danced with. My what would you call them? Colleagues
Yeah.
Yeah.
or friends
And what's
or
the name of it again? I gotta watch this.
body rock.
Body Rock. So you know what we need to do? We need to do like a video, a side by side video of you doing the in the movie Body Rock doing a move, and
No,
then you trying to do the move again. That would be hysterical. We need to do that.
I remember when I went back east to become an ordained deacon. They tried to get me to. It was also Reverend Mother's. She's now Bishop Elizabeth, but then she was Reverend Mother, and she got married the same weekend. And at the reception, somebody somebody found out about my dancing past and brought that up at the reception, and they tried to get me to go out there and dance. And I felt bad that I couldn't. I would have loved to, but I knew that had I done that, I probably would have blew out a knee or something, or blew out my back or something. And then we're talking a major downer
Right.
at a very happy situation. They would be, calling 911 to have me carted off to the nearest, emergency room, and then probably have to fly me home. So um, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll send you some stuff, Susan, that you can privately watch and laugh and have a good time over.
I'll put it on the dark web,
No.
make some money,
See, that's
send
the
you
thing. I don't trust you with that kind of stuff, and you will do that. So I have to give that a second thought. But
the
what else do you guys want? Okay, I know what I want to talk about real quick, and
What?
this is something that I don't have. I don't have an answer for, and that's got a question coming when I say this, and I don't have an answer for her yet, but I'm working on it. Sometimes when we do this show, you and I can be quite psychically connected. So I'm going to
Mhm.
test that theory today.
Mm.
I'll give you three guesses as to what I did on Wednesday.
What you did on Wednesday? That's not how it works.
Maybe it was Tuesday. It was either Tuesday or
See,
Wednesday.
you don't even know a day. What did I do on Wednesday
No
or
pressure
Tuesday?
at all whatsoever.
You
Okay, I'll
got
just
up,
throw it out
you
there.
fed the cats, you had a hot dog, Um,
I wish I had a hot dog. I can't have hot dogs any longer.
I know they're
Although
so good.
Sharon surprised me and came home on, was it Memorial Day or Labor Day we just celebrated? Memorial Day?
Yeah.
I think
Memorial.
she knew that we weren't going out to do anything special, so she came home. She went to my favorite when I used to go there. My favorite fast food place that makes um, old school Coney Island footlongs,
Yep.
and brought home me this wonderful footlong chili cheese dog from this place for
Oh,
Memorial Day. That
cute.
was, yeah, I
See,
was,
I knew there was a hot dog in that story somewhere.
see, I actually cried while eating it because it was so delicious, and I haven't
Look,
had one in years.
do not
Um,
deny yourself. Do not deny. You don't. There's so little that you do. I think a hot dog is not going to kill you.
well, a lot of people also
I
know
say that.
Sharon.
Let me look. No,
She
it's not
has.
going to kill
She's
you.
not even. She's afraid to. She has, knows I have no willpower. She's afraid. She's a three-time cancer survivor. A
Mhm.
lot of that cancer was throat and mouth related, so she has to be careful what she eats. But one of the few things she can eat without worrying about choking to death is hot dogs for some odd reason.
So crazy.
And she's afraid to even buy. She can't eat the buns, but she's afraid to even bring home packages of them because she knows I have no willpower and I'll be eating them.
Right. Me
Um,
too.
so anyway, this is what I did.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Our friend Daniel Groom, the famous producer, director, actor, paranormal investigator, your friend and mine, Daniel Groom, sent me this message and said before he's coming on the show next Friday is first Friday with Father Shawn and Annette, but the following Friday Daniel Groom will be here and we're going to talk about his new movie and the movie that you had a big part in, um, Stonegate. And he said, "Would you like to watch the movie before I come on? I can send you a special code, link and code." I said, "Absolutely." So that's what I did. It was either Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. I'm going to ask. I loved it. I'm going to ask him if I can pass that link on to Annette because I think Annette would love the movie too.
I would
But
Mhm.
I
love.
loved it. I loved it. Let's talk about
I would
Stonegate.
especially love to see it before we have him on.
Oh, right. That makes
Yeah.
sense. And I could have him send it to you too, Annette. So,
Cool. Very cool.
um, so we got a
Loved
shout
it.
out, a birthday party, a birthday shout out. Daniel's birthday is on Monday.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 32.
32. Holy cow.
That's it.
Now
I
he
know it.
he looks great for 32. I was about to say,
Right.
is he old enough to drink now? Could you guys go to Cafe
And he's been hitting the
Tennis all the time?
gym. Just wait. Just wait. He really is like looking great and
Good for
feeling
him.
great. And yeah. Yeah. And he's got a great movie now. Did you see me in the movie? Did you see where I was?
You beat me to the punch.
Oh,
I
okay.
first of all, I would recognize that backside anywhere. And so the movie starts, and I'm thinking to myself, just I don't even know why. Here I'm psychically connected with this movie already because you're both involved. You guys were this particular scene we're talking about was in a haunted location. The movie's based on another haunted location. You've had spiritual encounters there at this location. So I think it was all connected there, but this scene starts, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if Daniel is going to pull a Hitchcock and show up in his own movie. Knowing him, he
Mhm.
probably will. And as I'm saying that to myself, I'm looking at the blurry backside of this person. Two of the lead characters are in this scene, and behind them, I see these two people at this table talking and eating and drinking and whatever. And it's a little blurry in the background, but like I said, I could recognize that backside anywhere. I said, "You're So I sent him a
That's
message
it.
right away. I said, "Was that you and
Mhm.
Susan in the background in the cafe?" And he laughed
Eating
and
at the
said,
cafe.
"Absolutely."
Yeah.
And
We stole the show. That was it. Daniel and I stole that
well, I was
moment.
done.
I don't even know what they said. Yeah. It
I
was all
turned the
about
movie on. After that, I
me
was
eating
figured I was
pizza.
done. Yeah, I loved it. I really loved it. It was very
Mhm.
well done. The story, I was nothing like I expected. It had twists and turns and
Mhm.
unexpected stuff happening. All the actors and actresses were great. the locations. You couldn't have picked a better location to film at. I just loved it. So I really appreciate him giving me some advisor credits at the end on the ending credits. That was very special. I appreciated that. But talk about that whole project. I just loved it.
Sure. So, in the very beginning, the opening part, you'll have to watch it again. There's this quick little clip of a shoe, this one brown old shoe. It's on the stairwell. That shoe was like such a big part of the whole movie for me, which was so crazy. Um, but then, like, so back then, I think I talked about it last time or at some point, but so I'll make it quick. But so the state didn't have a lot of money for the like 5,000 extra people that were staying in this location, in this hospital. And so a lot of the people that were there were forgotten, the forgotten people. No one was looking for them. So when they died, they didn't know what to do with their bodies. So what they did was, this sounds so horrible, but back then it happened almost everywhere. They sold the bodies to leather manufacturer, and they used the skin as shoes and belts
Oh,
for the
Oh wow.
people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
that's
Uh-huh.
just
That
awful.
shoe, there was only one, and
Oh,
it popped up, and I was just like, we walked by it, and I'm like, so I just keep, and that's kind of like what happens when I walk through. If someone's died someplace, I kind of go like, oh, and they're like, "What? Are you okay?" I'm like, "I think I
Yeah.
just walked through a dead person. I don't know what that was." Usually, it's like walking through crime scenes. I get this jolt, and so I walked by the shoe, and I got the heebie-jeebies, and I said, "Oh, what's up with that shoe?" And I wanted to touch it, but then I didn't want to touch it because I knew it was probably possessed. And the minute I touch it, I'm gonna get possessed and bring it home, and it's gonna be a pain in the neck. And so I did really good for a couple of weeks not touching it. And then one day I must have been tired, and my energy was low, and it kept saying, touch the shoe, touch the shoe. And guess who touched the shoe? The ADD kid had to touch the shoe. I can hear my mother's voices. You just had to touch it, didn't you? I'm like, yep, I did. And I touched the shoe, and I was like, I just got flashes of. And so, not knowing the story, I didn't know anything about the backstory, about the leather. I would have been horrified. I would never have touched the shoe if I knew it was a person. So, um,
Where's that shoe now?
it's still there. I keep telling Dino, go back and get the shoe. And he's like, I'm not
did you
touching the
get
shoe.
did you get flashes of a person when you touched it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did. I did. It was a woman, a young woman, actually, like in her mid-20s, in a very plain, um, almost like a lunch lady outfit, like the lunch lady
Yeah.
dressed aprony type of thing. It was very plain. It was just very dowdy and very simple. I don't feel that she had a mental illness. I think she had an illness, but that they didn't know what to do with her. Maybe she had tuberculosis. That was another thing that was very big there. Or she just wanted out and they thought she was crazy. I mean, there's so many stories about what they did to women when they just wanted to discard them, or they were sassy, right? Annette, you're sassy may have gotten you put into an institution, and that's where they would have locked you up to keep you shut.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting. But there was a lot of haunted. So that wasn't the only haunted location. So we go to one of the houses where you're seeing one of the main actors. He's working on the computer and he's
Oh yeah.
talking on his right. And then the son is there. That house was haunted. That was like almost more haunted than the haunted place.
Wow.
Wow.
So crazy. So we're doing a night scene, but it's not night yet. It was in the summertime, so it didn't get dark until 8:30, and we needed to start shooting. So we're putting up tarp and plastic bags over all the windows, and I'm outside the house up on the ladder, putting up all, duct taping plastic bags and tarp over the windows. And I see this guy walk through the kitchen. And I know exactly who's there because this is me. I'm like, I'm on everything. I'm like, who's there? Who's touching this? I was driving everybody crazy. They called me set mom, but I was probably more like set something else, but whatever. So I'm like, Daniel, who's in the house? He's like, there's no one in the house. I'm like, I just saw somebody in the house. This guy, I could tell you. He was like, I'll tell you exactly what he looked like. He was a silhouette, but you could see exactly what he was. Full bodied apparition. Couldn't see through him. He was solid as heck. And
Wow.
so Daniel's like, there's nobody inside. I'm like, Daniel, I just saw somebody. And he just like went, so what did he look like? And I described him. He goes, that's it. And I'm like, that's the ghost. I'm like, oh, I almost fall off the ladder. I was like, he scared me. Like this guy startled me because he was like 3 feet from the window from me.
Wow.
I just walked right by. And here I was ready to get on the set. What are you doing? You know? So yeah, it was kind of funny.
Were any of the actresses and actors freaked out by that sort of stuff? And they're like, it's okay. It's one thing that I'm here filming a movie about this sort of stuff, but let's not, when Daniel says cut, let's don't get me involved in any of this stuff. Were any of them paranoid, or were they all in?
You know what? I think everybody got a little glimpse of something happening, but if it's your first time, you're not sure. So I think they probably saw more and just kind of poo-pooed it off like, oh, like if I didn't know that there was nobody else in the house and no one was supposed to be in the house, I would have thought that was a person and I wouldn't have questioned it. Then they heard footsteps like running up the stairs and across the hall in that house. And I know that the main actor heard it and he was like, did we just hear something? So that's going to be a little something else. I'll save that for Daniel. You can ask Daniel about what we're going to do about all that information that we came across and so he's got an idea for that. But
Very, very
yeah, it was
cool.
pretty creepy, pretty I was watching everybody to make sure that nobody was getting kind of overcome by anything, and it definitely was. We definitely were. I know myself. I was at one point, I could tell because I would get really angry, and that's not
It's
normally.
not
Not normally. I mean, that's the angry happy medium. That doesn't make sense. So, and so that's what happens to me. It goes into the reverse. They want you to do, get yourself out of your comfort zone. And so when I would like burst. I would have these rage, kind of like, ugh, and then it would go. It was really weird. But the ward that we were on was for the severe schizophrenic, uncontrolled rage and anger, because you could tell there was like marks on the doors, and it was just, yeah, those were the severe lockdown situation people, and that floor that we did most of the scenes in. So it's very easy for that to come through, have a moment, and then not be able to be comfortable in, my energy and then leave. But if you have a problem with anger or anxiety, that's not the place you want to be in, because it's just it'll fuel that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we did see a little bit of that, more so with anxiety, that we'd have to kind of like, okay, let's just take a step over here and we'll just de-escalate. I don't think many of them knew or understood what was really happening, that it was actually something attempting to, I don't want to say possess, but to definitely to alter their energy, and somehow they were definitely sucking that out of them. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Mhm.
I loved the fact that somehow he was able to get a little bit of film footage of you guys doing an investigation with mass hauntings.
Did you see that? That was a cool little trick, huh?
That was very, very cool.
That was fun.
So, what did you guys think about the location? Did you have plans to? Do you want to just kind of just leave it alone, or do you guys have plans to go back to that location, the hospital that is, and do
Daniel's
it?
got plans. I don't know if they'll let us back. It took him almost at least 2 years to get into it.
Wow.
Yeah, so we may not be able to get back in, and we would love to. And we never had a problem there, But yeah, it would be nice to be able to get back into there. There was
That's
something
a
else.
shame they don't have that place opened up for. Do they have it opened up for tours and stuff?
There is that main building that you see when the kids are in front. It's the main building with this really big tower. That is actually a museum,
Oh,
and they
really?
have really cool stuff in there. I never got it. I was not able to go in. I just was when I was there. I was just working, and then you work 10, 12 hours, then you leave. You're just exhausted, and it's hot and
Absolutely.
sweaty. There's no AC. There's like constantly shuttling water in to make sure you had something, and everybody went above and beyond to make that movie really amazing. And my
Well,
granddaughter was in it. She was one of the mental institution dead dead girls. She was a dead psych patient. She was great.
very cool. Very, very
Yeah,
cool.
that was her first movie. She was horrified to see herself. She was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Because
Well, now you know everybody that's listening that wants to know about the name again is Stonegate,
stone.
Stonegate, Stonegate,
Mhm.
directed by Daniel Groom. And where can people? I know you guys had a big event. The theater was full, a private screening for it.
Yep,
Where can people um, see it, or how do they go about?
sure.
What's the distribution going to be like on that?
Well, we have one more viewing, and I think that's right before Daniel comes on your show that Saturday or Sunday. We've got one more viewing because the first one sold out and everyone was so upset. So we have another one, and exactly where and when, I'm not sure. I think it's the 13th
Okay.
of June, I think.
Yes.
I am going. I'm not sure.
I know Annette's gonna love it. I thought about her while I was watching it, and I almost sent her the link, but I didn't want to. I decided I would ask first. So
Yeah.
yeah, got to get that link to Annette and have her watch it. She'll love it. It's right up her alley.
Mm,
That
yeah.
kind of movie.
And then it'll go out. It's gone out to some of the music festivals. We've already won some awards, which is really exciting. So I knew it would. It was really good. The actors, they won lots of best actor and best ensemble. So all the team players, all those people put together were just that worked so well with each other. And these are actors that aren't, have not had big roles before for
Yeah.
most of them. They're young, and most of the kids were young, and
Did,
they
did
did phenomenal.
there's one the kid. I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Um, how do I say this without? I won't say who he is, but there's one kid in there. You know who he really reminded me of? He reminded me of the actor that played Frodo.
Who's Frodo?
I don't know the actor's name. I should. He's a famous actor. He's been in a ton of stuff, but he played Frodo in Lord of the Rings.
Isn't
Um,
his name
Yes.
Elijah Wood?
that's him.
Oh, that's him. I think that's Owen that you're thinking. Oh no, it's the other one. The other. No, so it's not Owen.
Um,
Well, not Owen.
okay, he's the one. Um, I don't want to give anything away.
No, I know, but
Anyway,
he is. You'll have to watch the movie. How about that?
he reminded me so much of that actor, and
Yeah,
they were all so talented. To be
yeah.
so young and that talented, I was a little jealous. And but they were just all so talented. And how does that happen? Did he have someone that was in charge of the casting, or did he assume that role also?
Yeah, we did that ourselves too.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Daniel, Brian, and myself, and we sat there and we just interviewed people. I mean, he kind of weeded through. He knew what he was looking for. Him and Brian knew, and yeah, and we interviewed people one day, and right away you could kind of just see this was perfect. So it just really they were just good people. The parents were really good people. That makes a difference. If you have a nightmare mom, it makes for a long
Yeah,
shoot. And they were just everyone was just really good, and everyone had to sacrifice. So the mothers sat there all day reading books and working on the computer and knitting and trying to keep active for a long time. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, you being a very gifted psychic medium, what were that hospital? Were there any
Mm,
areas you had to advise Daniel? Um,
mhm.
you may want to limit um, your access down to this one location and limit, especially the kids, their exposure to this one location. I'm feeling this or I'm sensing this. Were there any areas in the hospital like that, or was it just you guys just jumped in the deep end without the floaties on?
No, there was so that hall again where they had I would say the more violent, not criminals, they're patients, sorry. Um, and we were doing the scene where they were reenacting the patients. That kicked up something. So all
Wow.
these people, we've got and there's an actor in each one of the rooms, and as we go by, they kind of would jump out and and look crazy, um, and we're filming, and my granddaughter's filming at this point, and Brian happens to be the main character that I can't ruin it, but he's one of the inmate characters. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And I'm standing there, they're filming. This is when everything was getting very tense. The parents were acting out, the energy was acting out, the actors were great, but everything around them was getting very intense. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? I was even stuff was building. And then all of a sudden I felt something come into the room.
Mm.
And it was about 6:30, so the sun was going down, the energy was shifting in the building. It definitely shifted as the night went on, as the day went on, the energy changed, and I was just about to let Daniel know and say, "Daniel, something just came into the room, something's here." And he said, "Roll it," so I couldn't interrupt him, and then the light above us started flickering, and then it kind of
Wow.
like, it kind of like snapped, and it was like confirmation. I was like, whew, good. Yeah, something is here. So then I just am sitting there in the corner trying not to be a weirdo, but trying to clear the room at the same time, clear the energy, just kind of like, okay, this is our space, keeping it really, bringing in the love and the light, asking Archangel Michael to come on in, like, let's try and keep this, and not scaring anybody and not letting anybody know what's actually happening. It was kind of that fine line. We just If they noticed it, then that was one thing, but I wasn't gonna say, "Oh my gosh, did you just see what just came in?" We were just trying to keep it under control, and that was kinda hard.
Did everybody know, actors and people on the crew? Did everybody know what you do outside of what you were doing there for the film? But did they know what you do in your what your day job is?
Right. Not right away. Not right away. And then when they did, they had all these questions. And so I didn't want, I wanted to answer the kids' questions because they were all excited about it. But then I didn't want them to lose focus because during we're filming a stairway scene, and one of the kids started whistling, and they're getting fidgy and they're tired and they're kids, and we were like, okay, stop whistling because it's, just be aware we're starting to film again. And he was like, oh, okay. He didn't even know he was doing it. So all the kids one by one come walking up past me in the scene. They're going up the stairwell, and I hear whistling. And I just watched the kids, so I know it wasn't any of them because I would have heard it. They just walked past me. And so Daniel says, cut. And I said, Daniel, did you hear that? And he says, yeah. And I said, and you caught it? And he says, I think. And so he rewinds it. And he's like, yeah, I caught it. So we caught a ghost mimicking the boy that we just kind of yelled at to say, hey, stop whistling. And the ghost started whistling on film. We caught it on film. And then Daniel kept it in the movie, which is really cool.
Here's the funny thing: if you're an actor or an actress and you're on a film like that, especially if you're young, so you do this movie, and did you offer any? Do they know who to go to if they need help? I mean, chances are, and it probably didn't happen, but chances are pretty darn good that somebody is going to get an attachment working that film. Did they know who to go to for that kind of help if that occurred, or was that kind of a taboo subject?
We decided to keep it between Daniel and I and Brian, just the directing crew, so to speak. My job was to kind of keep my eye on that because I definitely was going to be able to tell if something was to happen because you'd see personality changing constantly as we went along and as the day went on. And some of it was we're just hot and tired, but others you could tell. Um,
You have
so
are all of these actors and actresses at these events, these screening events?
for the most part, yeah.
Well, that would be a good time for you to sit down and with a big bucket of popcorn in your lap and offer them a few handfuls and just kind of say, "Listen, for what it's worth, if you ever have need anybody to talk to, I know this movie was very psychologically, physically, and mentally taxing on you, and it's one of those kind of movies.
Mhm.
If you ever need anybody to talk to,
Yep.
I'm here for you, and please do, because some of them may not know who to turn to and not even really know what it
Understand.
is that they're feeling. Yeah.
Hmm. So we definitely had conversations during the day as I was, as we were going along. Um, Once they got more comfortable and with everybody, we definitely, I would definitely make sure, like, do you need a snack? Do you need water? I was looking in their eyes. Do you have an entity? Like we just kind of did our check. And for the most part, it was okay. But that was definitely something that we brought up to the parents. Like, you know, we want to be there for you. We want to make sure that everybody's okay. And at some points, people were sick, and so we kind of had to work around that. And um, I did have something come home with me.
Uh-uh.
Always happens. You know how that happens, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then it acted up. It acted up every time I would do something about the movie. It somehow it fed it for some reason. I thought it went away, and then it didn't. Um, I had someone banging on my front door.
Wow.
Bam, 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 bam. And so I got up, the dog got up, and I was and looked, and I have a motion light, so the motion light didn't go on, so it wasn't on the outside, and I didn't think anything of it. Went back to bed. I'm like, shh, I need my sleep. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me anymore. You're kind of like, as long as you're not making a mess that I have to clean up, do what you want. So then I
Well,
thought
you
about
know
it.
what all that's about. You're there disturbing it. So now on this particular occasion, it decided to
Hmm.
come home and disturb you a little bit. You
I
know,
think
you
so.
yeah.
Yeah. And I told Daniel, I said, Daniel, at first I thought it was someone knocking on the door trying to get in. I said it wasn't. It was someone inside trying to get out. But
Oh,
that's what they were doing. All these people wanted to get out. They were just banging on everything trying to get out.
that's sad. That's really
Very
sad.
sad. Very
And
sad. Very
are
sad.
what is your theory on um, a lot of these spirits that are in life severely severe psychological trauma, suffering those types of issues, and they die in a place like that? Are they still in that mindset in death, or do all those cobwebs get washed away, and are they now all better?
No, I think they still are because half of them were drugged beyond their normal limits, which they shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? And some of them didn't have the medication that they needed. So you have an altered sense of awareness. And now you're adding trauma and abuse and sexual abuse on top of all of that that's going on in that moment. Some of them didn't even have clothes. So you've got, and they didn't have bathroom facility. I mean, they had bathroom facilities, they just weren't using them. So
Mm.
half of them were covered with feces, and there was just filth everywhere, and there was no one to clean it up. And it just, and the state didn't want to pay for it. It was a state hospital.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're stuck until like you go in with compassion. And it may be scary when they're still, you're walking through there and you're hearing all this noise and banging and you're feeling the intensity of what they experienced. But if you can meet them with compassion, and compassion that they've never had in a long time or probably ever have seen, that kind of soothes it. And then you can move them to the other side if you can gain trust. So there's a huge chance for healing that you can experience through something like that. And I love that part of the work. I love being able to do that. I wasn't able to do that because I was focused on the movie, but I would love to go back and see that happen for them.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Annette has to say about the movie when after she watches it, and then she's obviously here when I have Daniel on. It'll be interesting to see what Annette thought of that.
Yeah.
I was very pleasantly surprised to find out, looking at the credits at the end, that the restaurant scene was Cafe Venice.
Yep.
Which is very haunted, and you guys have held events there, mass haunting events there, and investigated the place. Same outcome there, having all those people in there filming and doing well. That place is open for business anyway, so not that big of a deal. But they know you, spirits there. They know Daniel, the spirits there do. Any unusual activity at Cafe Venice during the filming there?
Oh yeah, there was. You're right. I forgot all about this. Oh, if Daniel's watching, put this down in our notes. I was talking so Daniel and I are in one end, and at the opposite end, there were more people. And those were friends that I'd went to high school with, which was really cool. The owner was the woman taking the order, was the waitress taking the order. She's the owner. And so we were done filming, and we're down in that corner, and we're just talking. And they had taken like the special card when they say, "Oh, this is what's for just a dessert, and these are our specials for the day," and it's in a little circular metal ring, and it just kind of sits on a stick. Have you ever seen those in restaurants?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what it was, sitting on the thing, and all of a sudden, it went whoop. It just went flying, and I was looking right at it. Wasn't on camera, of course, it never is. He just wanted to be on the film. He just wanted to. I think it's Charlie. Charlie, we believe, is who the ghost is that's at the Cafe Venice. And he just wanted to be a part of it. He always just wants to be right in there. And he'll do stuff when people are around all the time. So it's a great place to go. Cafe Venice, downtown Norwood, Massachusetts, if you want great food and entertainment that's free. Yeah, the ghosts are great.
Besides the movie, give everybody an update on mass hauntings, or if Daniel and you are going to start another paranormal team, give everybody an update on that, and give everybody an update on any events you've got coming up. If people want to meet you, see you, get a reading live and in person from you, what's going on this year?
Really excited. I convinced Daniel to come along, and we're going to the Rock Island, Illinois, Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo.
There you go.
And there's really great stuff happening. They've got some, they're going to be doing CE5 stuff. They've got, Daniel's going to be taking a class on how to make your own spirit box. Really cool. They've got some great lineups. Annabelle's going to be there. You got to see Annabelle. She did not escape. That was fake news. Although I wouldn't put it past her.
Now that I'm out of Illinois, everybody's going to Illinois all the time. I have noticed this. That's where he went for his retreats. Like, oh, I'm going to Illinois.
So next year, Shawn, save your pennies, because we're going to go. We're going to go back next year, and we're dragging you. Okay?
Where are you going?
And Annette, we'll drag you too. You can come.
Where are you going?
We're going to the Rock Island Esoteric.
Oh, okay.
Expo.
Okay.
We're going to do that again. Yeah.
I was looking at the calendar and noticed that it's such a busy time of the year. I'm hoping that it doesn't affect your appearance here. But the last Friday in October this year, it happens to be Halloween. And that would normally
every
be
time, right? We always get.
I'm hoping you're going to be able to be here.
I'm going to be here in costume. I don't know when I'll be in costume, but we need to be in costume. Oh, that would be fun. All right. We have enough time to plan. We got 4 months, 5 months to plan.
Well, listen, I know a lot of people didn't ask you
Mm,
questions today, and that's okay because we had
that's
a great
okay.
chance to catch up and talk. And a lot of people reach out to me after your episodes and say, "Listen, I wanted to ask her something, but then I got so into listening to you guys talk and what it was you guys were talking about." Um, how can people reach out to you? Give them the website and
Sure.
give them anything else, Facebook page, whatever you want them to know if they want to reach out to you after today's show.
Yeah, sure. CapeCodHappyMedium.com. They can reach out to me there. Right after this, I have an event I'm doing. It's a psychic medium bridal shower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have 2, and then I have another one tomorrow, but we'll be doing tea leaf tomorrow. So tea leaf reading bridal showers. So if you have an event and you want to do something outside of the box that you haven't done before, or it's a nice gathering of friends and family, tea leaf reading is so wonderful. It's a great event. What else? Yeah, you can get
Before
a
I have
reading.
to kick you out of here, we got about
Ah,
5 minutes or so before I have to kick you out of here.
yeah.
I get this a lot, and so I'm just going to throw it out there at you. I get a lot of people that reach out to me. They believe that it's a friend or a family member that's passed on that's still haunting the home that they're living in,
Mhm.
and they don't want the spirit. If the spirit needs to move on, then they want some help getting that spirit to cross over. But if the spirit absolutely puts its foot down and does not want to cross over, at least come to some type of agreement not to continue to freak the family out anymore. Do you believe that we can peacefully coexist in the same location for extended lengths of time with the dead? Or do you believe all spirits, they're not of this time any longer, they're not of this world, they need to cross over?
I believe that they need to cross over, but there's many different. I mean, you've got family members that bop in and out, that come to visit and leave. So there's one set, and they're not stuck. They're on the other side, and they're able to visit us. And then you have those spirits that are stuck here, which is kind of purgatory that I feel. I feel like it's the ones that I've had to deal with that have helped always thank me going, "Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful over here. Why did they're in this limbo, and who wants to be constipated in that limbo? Nobody. That's not fun. They need to move on. That's not their ending point. Something in their personality or their situation created that opportunity for them not to go on, whether they're not trusting or they died so fast they didn't even realize." So
Well,
if oh, go ahead, Annette. Sorry.
I think too, like there's a lot of confusion over the word haunted. Because
Mhm.
if anything ever happens someplace, they'll say haunted. But to me,
Everything.
haunted is something that's really attached, that stays there and isn't really coming and going, or
Mhm.
something happened 3 years ago. No, those are like visitations. The spirit world's all around us all the time.
Correct. Right. Those timelines are happening continuously. But if they're afraid of their grandmother or whoever's haunting the house, or if it's just the guy that's haunting the house, I would question that, because why would you be afraid? Because they're not going to try and they're unless they're a
Well, just
trickster.
some people get really freaked just,
Yeah, but that's their
seeing their
problem.
loved one walk through the living room and disappear into a wall. It tends to freak them out. Some people, what advice, somebody that doesn't want to have a paranormal team come to their home and
Right.
announce to their whole neighborhood, I'm having issues, and they don't want to reach out to somebody like you because they don't want it to
Mhm.
get out and people think that they're a whack
Yeah.
job. Well, you're
Yeah.
contacting spirit mediums. What advice would you give to them if they are pretty sure they have a disembodied human spirit in their home and they don't want it there any longer?
Use your
Period.
boundaries.
Whether
Right.
it's going to behave or not.
It's boundaries. If you do not have good personal space boundaries with live people, you're not going to have those boundaries with dead people. That's it. And so if I tell you to leave my house, guess what? You're going to leave. There's no staying. You're not going to want to stay because you're
You
not
can
going to
take
want to see.
authority. It's
You
all about
need
the
to.
authority.
It is. This is my space. This is my family. You are making me feel uncomfortable. You need to leave, and you need to leave now. Go in love and light. Just
I
go. I don't care
love that.
what make you know what I mean? Just I would like to send them on, ask their guides to come, ask them for extra guidance, but they need to leave at this time
Good advice.
because
I
you're
love
pushing
you.
that. You're pushing that out.
I tell you today that I love you already, or no?
I love you too. No, probably not. Tell me again. I love
I,
you
lo-
guys.
I love you. I can't wait to see you
Yes, the
next.
best.
You're back Friday, June 27th, with another
Yeah.
episode of Happy Meeting Monday. Guys, mark it on your calendars. This episode is for all the fans and followers of not only this show but of Susan, and she's here to give free live on-air psychic readings during the whole episode. So write your questions down and be ready for her next month, and tune in and get your free reading. But I'm going to kick you out of here now. I know you. It's Friday and you've got a lot. You got a lot of things on your plate right now and this week, and you're working on the woo wagon and all that. I can't wait till that's done. I love you. I respect you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next month.
Bye, Annette. Bye,
Thanks,
Sean.
Susan. Really
Thank you.
interesting talking about the movie.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you
Love
later.
you guys.
Bye bye. Susan Ahearn, the Happy Medium. We're here next. Oh, cool! One of my favorite episodes. Next Friday, June 6th, is First Friday
Right.
with Father Shawn and Annette. So you and I
Interesting.
will do more of what we did today, catch up and
Very
take
nice.
questions from the chat room on anything they want to ask us, and that'll be fun.
I always enjoy that. Today was really nice. I want to wish everybody a great evening and a great weekend, and thanks for tuning in.
Annette, you know I love you and respect you too. Thank you for everything you do for this
Love you
show. I
too.
couldn't do
Thank
without you. Have a great weekend. Give your family, everyone there, a big hug and a kiss for me. And I'll be talking to you before next Friday, but I'll see you next Friday.
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books. If you've ever thought about publishing or getting someone to publish your book, and you've got a book, you're getting ready to write one, reach out to Annette. Annette Munich, Stellium Books. She'll help you get your book going and get it published for you. Thank you to United Public Radio Network, UPRN, for picking up my show. God bless Joe Montaldo. God bless Michelle DeRoche. God bless each and every one of you for tuning in, because I don't have a show without you guys, and I mean that from the heart. Next Friday, June 6th, First Friday with Annette and Father Shawn. And that's a day where you guys can tune in and put Annette's feet to the fire and rake old Father Shawn over the coals over anything you want to talk to us about. We will be taking questions live from the chat room the whole show. I want everybody to have a wonderful weekend. Remember, guys, it's all about love. Stay tuned for Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn and a lot more. This is, you know, a great night for UPRN. We've got a lot of good shows coming up the rest of the day and well into the evening. So, sponsors, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, reach out to me. We can make that happen. Remember, we may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.